For a lot of people who don't really follow the lower weight divisions, you could be forgiven for thinking that a nickname like the Monster was just used to try and make you pay a little bit more attention to those little guys. Well, Naoya Inoue, after getting rid of Jason Moloney in the way he did, I think more people are realizing now that Naoya Inoue doesn't just exist as a boxer, but he really does deserve that nickname of the Monster. A one-punch knockout at his weight class, the way he continually disposes of people, is rare. And his overall skill set, and we saw different parts of it in this performance, is different. Like Timothy Bradley was saying, we saw some great counterpunches here. We didn't just see the speed and the footwork. We saw how Inoue can transition, how he can create openings. And when there are openings, he is so quick with his finger on the trigger that he's always able to capitalize on slight little defensive lapses. Now, something Inoue did in this fight, and I think it's part of the reason why his head gets popped sometimes by jabs, and he looks like he's a little bit asleep at times. The one weakness he has, a little bit ropey with the defense, and it doesn't seem to fit in with how good everything else is. But it might be partly to do with how Inoue is wired as a fighter. I've seen him a few times, and I saw him in this fight as well. He will start just marching forward with a high guard, and his head just there, trying to get you to lead. It is a ploy he's doing here. He's not just fighting reckless. And as soon as you lead, boom, he takes advantage of the slight opening with explosive efficiency. He can do it with either hand. He was showing he can thread in uppercuts here. Perhaps that's a punch he's working on. He decked Moloney with a tremendous check hook. I've said before, he's got a little bit of Mayweather in him almost. Mayweather was great at threading in check hooks. Inoue can do it too. And then in the very next round, he just picks out a beautiful right hand. It didn't travel much distance. And it was another thing that made me think of Joe Louis, funnily enough, the old heavyweight champion, who Teddy Atlas has compared Inoue to. I think he's talking about the fact that he's not wasteful, everything's efficient, and that's how the Brown Bomber used to go about his work. And this punch travelled barely 6 inches or so, when you watch it in the slow motion replay, it doesn't seem to be the biggest shot, but as soon as it lands, Moloney's head just whips back, and he was absolutely done. He was brave, he was game, but he pretty much lost every round. It kind of played out like we knew it was going to. Inoue just showing why he might be the best fighter on the planet at the moment. He seems to have talent to burn. We got Terence Crawford. He's fighting Kell Brook later this year. Won't do much for his legacy, and he's 33 already. Canelo has had a lot of controversy with his best wins. Inoue is just disposing of people. He can do it with either hand, and we didn't actually see much of the body punching in this one. Arguably his most devastating shot is the left hook to the body or the liver. He absolutely crunches rib cages. But it was more the headshots we saw this time, but they certainly do enough damage as well. So we might finally be getting the fight between Inoue and John Real Casimero, the Filipino. WBO bantamweight champion, who's been calling Inoue a Japanese turtle. I'm not sure where the turtle comes from. Can someone inform me about what's going on there? But that is a fantastic fight. 2 big punches at 118 pounds. Was supposed to happen April this year. Coronavirus intervened. Should be getting it February, March, maybe next year. If not, Inoue wants to fight the winner of a Bali Donaire for the WBC title. So he is insistent on staying at 118 pounds, which I think is the best thing to do. Forget weight hopping. He's already a modest-sized bantamweight as it is. Even though the tail of the tape between himself and Moloney was similar, Moloney still looked a little bit bigger. In his last few fights, Inoue looks to have been the smaller man every time. So this is the ideal poundage for him, as I've said a few times. Let's stay here. Let's try and become undisputed, which is rare these days. And in doing so, I think really solidify his claim as a rightful pound-for-pound #1. More people are paying attention now. They can see he's not just a power guy. He's got many tricks up his sleeve. He's very quick. Must have one of the highest connect ratios up there with Canelo. And he is just taking people out. And the best part about it, he's remaining humble. And because he's in those lower weight divisions where they don't make the big bucks right away, he's not getting gassed. And he is going to work hard to make sure he gets the meaningful fights. He is a legacy fighter. And I think 2021 will be the year he will be officially recognized by all the best fighter on the planet.